Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard here to review Thor Ragnarok from Marvel Pictures, starring Chris Hemsworth, Jeff Goldblum, what's her name? These are the wrong glasses. Tessa Thompson, Cate Blanchett, and a whole bunch of, Mark Ruffalo, a whole bunch of cameos, a whole bunch of surprises in this movie. And yes, I did see it in 3D, and you know I'm anti-3D, but you know what? It didn't bother me this time because the movie kicked some royal Thor butt. So to set up the movie, Thor is on this prison planet, and he's made into a gladiator, and he has to fight all these different creatures, specifically the Incredible Hulk, to the amusement of the Grand Master, played by Jeff Goldblum. And meanwhile, back at Asgard, you have Hela, who's the goddess of death, who's determined to destroy Asgard or mold it in her image and rule. And so Thor has to get back, along with Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, to save their world. So, you know, we're not on Earth this time. We are nowhere near the Avengers. We're nowhere near New York or anywhere else. We are so knee-deep into another universe. It's so awesome to see that because, you know, I got really tired of being on Earth, you know, and hanging out with the other Avengers. So Thor gets his own movie. This is his third one. And what's really cool about this is that the humor in it, because it doesn't take itself seriously. Okay, this movie comes in at 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I was reading up on the director. He was like, no, we were going to, you know, have it at 100 minutes, but then when they tested it at Comic-Con, all the jokes were just hitting, you know, and it's really a risky venture because if you're going to do a comedy, you know, do a parody movie of Thor, you know, you got to be careful because it could really go bad quickly, but it didn't. It's really funny, but also it balances it with all the action sequences. It had some mind-blowing special effects, and you know, Thor also is kind of different in terms of his character because, you know, if he was on this planet where he's fighting as a gladiator, of course he's got his hammer, he has all these powers, he's the god of thunder. But you know what? He's been stripped of those powers. His hammer's been destroyed. And I'm not going to tell you all, this is a spoiler-free review, I should have said that up front. I'm not going to tell you all the details of that happened. But you know what? He starts at the bottom. And that's what's so cool about Thor. He's taken down 2 or 3 pegs. And he's got to claw his way back up the top, not only to get out of this prison planet, but also to get back to Asgard and save his people. Now, director Taika Waititi, you know, he's a New Zealand director. He did Eagle vs. Shark. He did Hunt for the Wilder People. This guy has got such a great style to him. Okay, some of these action... Oh, does this bother you? Some of these action sequences were just phenomenal because the 3D didn't bother me. I was really surprised at that. And also, he really has kind of like a respect for the material, but he has a great sense of timing when it comes to all these jokes. You know, Chris Hemsworth is just absolutely hysterical as Thor. He gets a haircut, too. You probably saw it in the trailer. I'm not spoiling anything. So, as I'm sitting there watching this movie, you know, not only was I laughing, but I also just, some of the action sequences, I was just blown away. I mean, I was just absolutely amazing because the movie does take breathers with the comedy because some of the action is so overwhelming and it's just so powerful that you're just sitting there just has this big grin on my face the whole time. So this movie costs $180 million. It's already grossing $150 million overseas before it even came out here. And so I think this is one of the strongest films, not only in the Thor series, but one of the best Marvel films out there. I know we said that with Wonder Woman. No, Wonder Woman, Jeff. Oh my God. I didn't mean to say Wonder Woman. I was meant to say Ant-Man or the Avengers or Captain America, something like that. I used to be, and I still am, a giant Captain America fan. I love First Avenger. It's one of my favorite ones in the series. Also, I love Winter Soldier. But this movie is also what is going to put Thor up to the forefront with his own movie because it's going to do something for that character because he was kind of like obscure, right? He was just flying around with his hammer and used thunder and lightning. So it says he was always kind of like a bizarre character. But what's really interesting is they really submerge us in mythology. That's what's really cool. So we're in Asgard. We're really kind of just saturated in his culture. So that's what's really cool. One thing you have to notice is Mark Mothersbaugh's music. It's got this kind of, you know, electronic Devo quality to it because he's, you know, the lead singer and one of the guys that founded Devo, one of my favorite bands of all time. So when you're hearing the music, not only is it playing, you know, some Led Zeppelin and giving us this kind of modern take on it. Remember in Star Trek when they rebooted that and Captain Kirk was 13 years old and he stole that convertible and he's heading towards the cliff? They were playing Sabotage by the Beach Boys. The Beastie Boys, not the Beach Boys. I get excited. You have to excuse me. The crowd was going crazy. Well, that was the same with Thor Ragnarok, is that you put in some of this contemporary modern music and it just, you know, during the kick-ass scenes when all the fighting is happening, you know, it just, the crowd was just like electrified. They really were. But Mark Mothersbaugh's music, this electronic tonalities that he used throughout the movie, also just gave an originality to the whole movie. I have to mention Tessa Thompson. She plays one of the Valkyries in the movie, and she's hiding out on that prison planet with Jeff Goldblum, and she's kind of an alcoholic and all that, but she has this transformation of her character. It's just outstanding. And also Jeff Goldblum just cracks me up the entire movie. He's one of my favorite actors, and he's got that great kind of comic timing like he would do, like he did in Jurassic Park and all that. He's just absolutely hysterical. Plus, there's a lot of surprises in this, and of course, stay through all the credits, and it's just a great time. This thing is going to make just a boatload of money. It really is. And I just get excited about this because, you know, you think the Marvel Universe is going to run its course, and there's fatigue out there, and then something like this comes along and just kind of just gives you a boost in the arm. And Waititi, you get a lot of the credit. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Is this bothering you? Surf on over to vegasfilmcritic.com. Also, check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, comment below. And don't forget, you can take me along over on iTunes. You can download all my interviews and reviews on my podcast. I'm Jeffrey Howard in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.